Okay, if you're looking to expand the storage on your PS5 Pro or any PS5 model, because this process is the same for all of them, then you're in the right spot. Because it's your boy, the Elusive Squirrel, and even though it seems really scary and frightening to expand the storage on your PS5 system, because us console players aren't really used to opening up the system and having to mess around with any hardware, it's actually a really simple, quick, and easy process. By the end of this video, you're going to be a pro at this process. Now, the one thing that can be overwhelming about expanding the storage is finding an SSD you feel comfortable with and will bring great performance. And I have a perfect recommendation for you, and it's actually this video's sponsor. The GG Mundo 7450 ITER SSD is perfect for any PS5 system. Not only does this thing perform great and has some awesome specs to it, but it is also like half the price of any of the SSDs you can find in any big box store or any of the SSDs marketed as console ready. Now, as a console gamer, you probably don't care a ton about the specs, you just want to see how to install this thing, but give me 20 seconds to tell you about these great specs. The ITER SSD has read speeds of over 7,000 megabytes per second, and you know that's good because as a PS5 player, you really only need 5,500 to 6,500 megabytes per second, so this thing can reach far beyond what you actually need. It's also super reliable because it has 3D TLC NAND, and what that does is it provides lower latency and it makes it really reliable, so this thing will keep your system performing great for years to come. It's also equipped with high bandwidth memory, which means those intense and heavy loaded AAA games are going to run super smooth on the system. But enough about the specs, let's dive in and I'll show you how to install this bad boy. All right, and let's go ahead and open up this box. Of course, inside there's going to be everything we need for the installation process, and it does include a heatsink too. I know the box doesn't show it right on the front, but it does have a heatsink in there. And we also get a Phillips head screwdriver. This will be important for the process. We're not going to have to mess around with very many screws, but we definitely need it. All right, and now we're going to dive into the meat and potatoes themselves, so to speak, and here is the SSD itself. Again, this is a 2 terabyte model they sent me. They have a couple different options. Up next, we have our thermal adhesive pad here, and then we have our heatsink. Now let's get our SSD prepped and ready for the installation. To start that process, we're going to peel off the adhesive backing here on the thermal pad itself, and you just place it right on top of the SSD. And of course, pro tip, make sure the thermal padding lines up with that part of the SSD. Now we're going to peel off the other side of the adhesive backing, and we're just going to pop the heatsink right on top of that bad boy. Of course, pro tip, make sure it's lined up well, and this is what the finished result looks like. Now here is the hardest part of the process itself, getting the PS5 faceplates off. You just have to really be firm with it. It feels like you're going to break it, but trust me, you're definitely not going to. Okay, after taking off our faceplates, we're going to take our Phillips head screwdriver here and remove this metal cover from the SSD bay itself. All right, let's go ahead and pop off this cover, and you can see this is where that SSD drive is going to be installed here. So we do have a screw that we're going to need to hang on to right here. Depending on the size of the SSD, you'll just put it in the corresponding spot. And what's great about installing these SSDs is don't be scared. They only fit in one way, so you really can't mess this up or put it on backwards. Now we're going to take our solid state drive, we're going to line it up with the little teeth marks in the system, and we're just going to go ahead and pop that bad boy in. You'll know it's connected right when it kind of looks like a little diving board. At this point, we'll take out that screw that was already in the console, and we will go ahead and screw down the SSD here. There is a washer included in that too, so make sure you have the washer with the screw. That'll make sure it's kind of installed safe, and make sure to not tighten it too much. Okay, now that we've tightened the screw and this thing's in place, we can just go ahead and put that metal bay cover right back onto the system. We're going to take our PS5 faceplate and line up the hooks with the different openings in the console and push it back in, and boom, just like that, you've expanded the storage on your PS5. Now, the first time you fire up your system, this screen will pop up. You just had to click Format SSD, and then it'll do a quick performance test. You'll get your readout speed. We're getting 6,200 here, and just like that, you are ready to go. You can open up your console storage. You can move games to and from your console storage to the SSD storage, but overall, the important thing to note is the performance on this thing has been phenomenal in my experience. Load times have been fast. I haven't dealt with any latency or frame dropping. Okay, now be honest. Did you think that was a complicated thing? And don't be afraid to say yes if you really feel like it is. But overall, that went way smoother than I was anticipating. And again, shout out to GG Mundo for sending over this SSD. This SSD provides a great bang for your buck, and the best thing about it is GG Mundo actually gave me a 10% off code for all of you watching this video. So go ahead and check the description and comments for that code, and you can save even more money. But seriously, even without the discount code, this thing is like half the price of a lot of big name SSDs. I appreciate you all for watching. Leave any feedback down in the comments, and I hope you all have a wonderful day.